Well, what's next? What is next? We're getting hit hard by snow over the last 4 days, but ladies and gentlemen, after this next story, I'm telling you, you're probably going to take the snow over what could be in the forecast. An Armageddon-like scenario. That was a good movie. Yeah, Bruce Willis was good. Do we need to send people up into space to save us? Because an asteroid named 2024 YR4, oh, that rolls off the tongue, it's on track to pass near Earth in 2032. And at present, there's a 2.1% chance of impact. Let's find out what this could mean for our home planet. Let's go to Tamitha Skov, a space weather forecaster and science communicator. Tamitha, welcome back to the program.
Thank you, Elias. I'm grateful to be here.
So, how are you looking at asteroid 2024 YR4?
Well, I'm not quite ready to pull out my titanium umbrella just yet, but we are definitely keeping our eyes on the skies right now.
And tell us what the latest projections say. Where if this thing were to hit, where would it hit? What type of damage could it cause?
Right. Well, I just looked up the latest update today. The latest update was about an hour ago, and right now it looks like the closest approach will be about 23 Earth radii, which is about 148,000 kilometers away from Earth. So it still looks like this thing is going to give us a very kind of close shave inside of the moon's orbit. But we're only at a point where we're just paying close attention to it. We've got a little time before this thing comes around and hits us. But we do have to pay very close attention because, sadly, this asteroid is on its way out beyond Earth, and it's going to end up disappearing from our view for quite a few years, after about April of this year. So we're going to have to wait to kind of really hone in on its orbit.
Gotcha. So let's say the worst case scenario would hit the Earth, right? Obviously, that's the worst case scenario. Let's say that
Right.
that were to happen. How much lead time would we have? Like how many years? Hopefully years, not months or days. How many years would we have to get prepared for this if we knew with certainty it was going to hit?
Well, we know its closest approach is going to be on December 22nd, 2032. At 11:05, give or take about 9 hours, and that's UTC time. So you've got some time to pack. But If it were to hit, sadly, right now we don't really know whether or not it's going, where on the planet it's going to hit. It's too far out. We have a lot of planetary conjunctions that the asteroid has to kind of go by, and we call these gravitational keyholes. And so it depends upon how the asteroid kind of interacts and shakes hands with these other planets on its way toward us that will tell us whether or not it's going to end up deflecting that asteroid further away from us or bringing it closer in for maybe a closer look.
If it were to hit, tell me maybe a bit about the size of this asteroid, and if it were to hit, what kind of damage would it cause? This like extinction level event, a little bit smaller? Tell us a little bit more on that end.
Well, this one is a pretty big one, which is one of the reasons why we're so concerned about it. And it's not, some people believe it's actually the speed of the asteroid, but in actuality, it's the size of these things. As they always say, size matters. Well, this is one of those times when it's actually very true. So the Chelyabinsk asteroid was about 18 meters across. If you remember that one that exploded over Russia, and it actually, did some pretty serious damage. It had about 500,000 tons of TNT worth of energy. And then the Tunguska, if you guys remember the Tunguska back in 1908, that was about the same size as this YR4. And that's about, if it were to hit, it's about 5 million tons of TNT. And that means basically, if you were to think of New York City, it will clear an area easily about 2.5 times the size of New York City.
Whoa.
It could leave a crater, right? It could leave a crater the size of Winslow. And the biggest issue that we have is that this rock may not be circular. So we say it's about, 40 to 50 meters across. But if it's elongated like a potato, well, this thing could be 90 meters wide.
Ooh.
So that's the problem we have, is that because size matters so much, whether it's circular or whether it's elongated, makes a big difference.
With space weather forecaster Tamitha Skov, we're talking about that asteroid that is on track to pass near Earth in 2032. So let me ask you, what kind of technology do we actually have? We brought up Armageddon, the movie, off the top there. But let's say we had to go into defense mode. What could we do?
Well, this is one of the reasons why we're not all that concerned. First of all, we have the Atlas system, which is what detected this thing in the first place. It's the asteroid terrestrial impact, what we call the last alert system. This asteroid has been kind of circling around us and hovering around us for a very long time, and we've only just discovered it recently, mainly because our detection systems have gotten so good. So that's one thing. That this is not the first time we've shaken hands with this particular asteroid. We just never knew it. So that's one thing. The second thing is that we have successfully moved an asteroid off of its trajectory, and this asteroid was much, much bigger. This was Dimorphos, which was 177 meters wide, and DART was successfully able to deflect it. So we have literally launched a rocket and smashed into one of these things, and it was enough energy to move something that wide. And so I think we're going to be safe with this one, even if it is an elongated potato. We'll successfully move it out of the kitchen.
And Tamitha, you're saying there's a program that detected this asteroid. We weren't just lucky here. We're actually taking this seriously to identify future threats.
Absolutely. This is the actual. We have multiple detectors all around the globe, and the one that actually detected it was located in Chile, and so it detected it, back on Christmas of last year. And the biggest problem that we have with these, what we call near-Earth orbiting objects, is most of them come from the asteroid belt, which is just outside of Jupiter. But just inside of Jupiter. But the problem that we have is that when these asteroids orbit behind the sun relative to where we are at Earth, the sun blinds us. So it's very similar to if you ever see, let's say someone hits a baseball. You're in a baseball field, you're center field, and the baseball comes up from the batter hitting it, and it's going to come down from the sky, and you've got to catch it, but it's high noon.
Yeah.
And now the sun is up there, and it blinds you, and you're like, where is it, where is it, where is it? That's exactly the problem that we have.
Oh, my goodness.
So sometimes we can't track these things as well as we'd like because literally the sun is too blinding.
That really spoke to me because I'm in that position when I play center field, and I'm terrible at catching these balls in center field when I play in my softball league. So really, I now understand exactly what you mean. Let me just ask you this, Tamitha, to wrap up here, because people do want to know where it's going to hit, right? It's too early to tell where it's going to hit. Do we have maybe a broader location? Do we have any idea?
Well, we have, to some degree, we have an idea, but I don't even want to speculate because that's going to freak everybody out. Plus, think about the fact that we rotate every 24 hours, right, completely around the planet. And if the error, as I said, is about 9 hours, well, that's a good portion of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So luckily, it most likely will hit in some some remote area, likely in the ocean. I mean, 2/3 of our planet is water, so the chances of it hitting in the South Pacific are pretty high.
Yeah.
or in some place in Siberia where no one lives.
Fingers crossed, Tamitha. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll talk again soon. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Tamitha Skov is a space weather forecaster and science communicator.